If you're over 70, the rules of biology change. I've spent 40 years standing behind a pharmacy counter, dispensing medication and advice. But now, at 72, I'm standing on the same side of the counter as you. And here is the hard truth. There are medications labeled safe or sold right over the counter that I, as a pharmacist, would never take myself at this age. You see, what worked for us at 40 can actually be dangerous at 75. Yet many doctors don't have the time to explain exactly why your body processes these common drugs differently now. In this video, I'm taking off my white coat to speak to you as a peer. We are going to break down the big 3 common medications that carry hidden risks for seniors based on clinical pharmacology and the Beers criteria for older adults. Before we name the specific medications, you need to understand why this matters specifically for us. If you take away one thing from this video, let it be this. You are not just an older version of your younger self. You are physiologically different. When you are 35, your liver and kidneys are like high-performance filters. You take a pill, your body uses it, and your organs flush out the rest efficiently. But medical research shows that after age 65, liver mass and blood flow decrease. Our kidneys, even if they are healthy, filter blood more slowly than they did 20 years ago. Why does this matter? It matters because of a concept called half-life extension. If a medication is supposed to stay in your system for 12 hours, but your kidneys are working at a senior pace, that drug might stay in your system for 24 hours. If you take your next dose on schedule, you inadvertently stack the medication in your blood. This leads to toxicity, not because you took too much, but because your body couldn't clear the first dose fast enough. Furthermore, as we age, our body composition changes. We generally have less body water and more body fat. Water-soluble drugs, like alcohol or certain blood pressure meds, become more concentrated because there is less water to dilute them. Fat-soluble drugs, like many sedatives, get trapped in body fat and linger in the system much longer, causing grogginess and balance issues days later. Have you ever taken a medication and felt off for days? This is likely why. Doctors often rely on standard guidelines, but unless they specialize in geriatrics, they may not always adjust for these silent changes. Today, we are going to look at 3 specific categories of drugs where this physiology mismatch causes the most trouble, and what you can do to stay safe. Point number 1, first-generation antihistamines, the PM sleep aids. 1. The issue. The first category I avoid religiously is anything with PM in the name, whether it's Tylenol PM, Advil PM, Zysquil, or just generic nighttime sleep aid. The active ingredient in almost all of these is diphenhydramine, Benadryl. While this is a fantastic drug for acute allergic reactions, using it as a sleep aid over the age of 65 is widely discouraged by geriatricians, yet millions of us buy it over the counter every week. 2. The mechanism. Diphenhydramine is what we call an anticholinergic drug. In simple terms, it blocks a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, which is involved in learning and memory. It works by slowing down the brain and nervous system. 3. Age-specific context. When you are 30, you might wake up a bit groggy from this. But after 65, our blood-brain barrier is more permeable and our baseline levels of acetylcholine are often lower. This means the drug hits our brain much harder. It creates a state that doctors call drug-induced delirium. 4. Real-world implications. The research is concerning. Studies have shown that chronic use of anticholinergics is associated with an increased risk of dementia and cognitive decline. But even in the short term, the risks are immediate. Because these drugs have a long half-life in senior bodies, you might wake up to use the restroom at 3 a.m. and feel dizzy or confused. The fall risk. This PM hangover is a leading cause of falls and hip fractures in seniors. The bladder issue. Because it relaxes muscles, it can also cause urinary retention, meaning you can't fully empty your bladder, leading to UTIs. 5. Actionable insight. Do this. Instead, if you're having trouble sleeping, look at your sleep hygiene first. Are you drinking caffeine after noon? Are you looking at screens? Alternative. If you need a sleep aid, talk to your doctor about melatonin. Start low, 1,3-Ds, or simply magnesium glycinate, which is relaxing but doesn't drug the brain. Check your labels. Read the active ingredients on the back. If it says diphenhydramine, put it back on the shelf. Point number 2, NSAIDs, the everyday pain reliever. 1. The issue. The second medication I am extremely cautious with is NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. You know these as Ibuprofen, Advil, Motrin, and naproxen, Aleve. We tend to view these as harmless because they are sold everywhere. For a 72-year-old dealing with arthritis, the temptation to pop 2 of these every morning is huge. 2. The mechanism NSAIDs work by reducing prostaglandins, which reduces pain and inflammation. However, prostaglandins also have a job to do in your kidneys. They keep the blood vessels open to ensure good blood flow. When you take NSAIDs, you constrict blood flow to the kidneys. They also strip away the protective mucus lining of the stomach. 3. Age-specific context. Remember what we discussed earlier about aging kidneys filtering more slowly? When you add an NSAID, you are reducing blood flow to an organ that is already working harder than it used to. Fluid retention. NSAIDs cause the body to hold on to sodium and water. If you have high blood pressure or mild heart failure, which is common after 70, this fluid retention can put dangerous stress on your heart. 4. Real-world implications. I have seen countless seniors come into the pharmacy complaining of swollen ankles or elevated blood pressure, not realizing their daily Aleve is the culprit. The bleed risk. The risk of gastrointestinal bleeding, stomach ulcers, rises significantly with age. If you are also taking a blood thinner like aspirin for your heart or Eliquis, taking an NSAID alongside it skyrockets your risk of an internal bleed. 5. Actionable insight. Do this instead. Topical relief. Ask your doctor about diclofenac gel, Voltaren. It's an NSAID, but it's a cream you rub directly on the knee or elbow. Very little of it gets into the bloodstream, sparing your kidneys and stomach while treating the pain. Oral alternative. Acetaminophen, Tylenol, is generally safer for the kidneys and stomach in seniors, provided you stay under the daily limit, usually 3,000 mg, but check with your doctor, especially if you have liver concerns. Rule of thumb, if you must take an NSAID, take the lowest dose for the shortest time and never on an empty stomach. Point number 3, long-term PPIs, acid reflux meds. 1. The issue. The third category is proton pump inhibitors, PPIs, such as omeprazole, Prilosec, esomeprazole, Nexium, and lansoprazole, Prevacid. These were originally designed to treat ulcers for 4 to 8 weeks. However, I see patients who have been on them for 10 or 15 years for mild heartburn. 2. The mechanism. These drugs are incredibly effective at shutting down stomach acid production, but here is the catch. We need stomach acid. Acid is required to break down food and absorb critical nutrients like calcium, magnesium, and vitamin B12. It is also your body's first line of defense against bacteria in food. 3. Age-specific context. As we age, our bone density naturally decreases. If we suppress the acid needed to absorb calcium, we accelerate that bone loss. Osteoporosis. Long-term use of PPIs has been linked to an increased risk of hip, wrist, and spine fractures in older adults. Infection risk. Without stomach acid to kill bugs, seniors on PPIs have a higher risk of pneumonia and C. difficile, a severe intestinal infection. 4. Real-world implications. Picture this. You take a pill for heartburn. 5 years later, you are diagnosed with a B12 deficiency, causing fatigue and nerve issues, or osteoporosis. You start taking supplements for those. Not realizing the heartburn pill is the root cause. It's a silent drain on your nutritional reserves. 5. Actionable insight. Do this. Instead, step down. If you have been on these for years, do not stop cold turkey. You will get rebound reflux that is agonizing. Talk to your doctor about tapering off. The H2 alternative. Switch to an H2 blocker like famotidine, Pepcid, for occasional relief. These are generally safer for long-term use and don't block acid as aggressively. Lifestyle. Often simply not eating 3 hours before bed or raising the head of your bed 6 inches can solve the reflux without the pill. Point number 4, the prescribing cascade. 1. The issue. This isn't a single pill, it's a phenomenon. The prescribing cascade happens when a side effect of drug A is misinterpreted as a new medical condition, leading to the prescription of drug B. 2. The mechanism. It is a domino effect. Doctors are trained to treat symptoms. If you report a symptom and the doctor doesn't immediately connect it to your current medication, they will treat the symptom. 3. Age-specific context. Because seniors take more medications on average, we are statistically more likely to fall into this trap. 4. Real-world implications. Let me give you a classic example I saw just last month. Step 1. A patient takes amlodipine for high blood pressure. Step 2. A common side effect is swollen ankles. The patient complains to the doctor. Step 3. The doctor prescribes furosemide, Lasix, a diuretic, to treat the swelling. Step 4. The diuretic makes the patient urinate frequently and lose potassium. Step 5. The patient now develops urinary urgency, incontinence, and leg cramps. Step 6. A bladder control medication and a potassium supplement are added. Result. The patient is now on 4 drugs when they only had one condition, high BP. 5. Actionable insight. Do this instead. Whenever you experience a new symptom, ask your doctor this question first. Could this be a side effect of one of my current medications? Before starting a new drug to treat a symptom, ask if changing the dose or type of the original drug would solve the problem. Point number 5. The hidden risk of natural supplements. 1. The issue. Many seniors believe that if something is herbal or natural, it is safe. As a pharmacist, I can tell you arsenic is natural, snake venom is natural. Natural does not mean neutral. 2. The mechanism. Herbal supplements contain active chemical compounds that interact with your liver's enzymes. The same enzymes that process your heart and blood pressure medication. 3. Age-specific context. Since many of us over 60 are on blood thinners like warfarin, Xarelto, or even daily aspirin, the margin for error is razor thin. 4. Real-world implications. Ginkgo biloba and garlic supplements. These are popular for memory and heart health, but both have mild blood-thinning properties. If you combine them with prescription blood thinners, you significantly increase your risk of internal bleeding. St. John's wort. This is the nightmare of pharmacists. It induces liver enzymes to work too fast, causing your body to chew up and spit out your other medications before they can work. It can render heart medications and antidepressants useless. 5. Actionable insight. Do this instead. Treat supplements with the same respect as prescription drugs, the brown bag. Check. Once a year, put everything you take, prescriptions, vitamins, herbs, into a bag and take it to your pharmacist or doctor. Ask specifically, are any of these fighting each other? Knowledge is only power if you use it. I know this information can feel overwhelming, especially if you've been taking these medications for years. You might be thinking, well, I've taken Tylenol PM for a decade. Surely I'm fine. But remember, your body at 72 is not your body at 62. The goal isn't to stop taking all medications. It's to take the right ones for your current physiology. Here is your 3-step action plan to take control of your health starting today. Step 1. The brown bag. Consult. This is the single most effective thing you can do. Once a year, gather every single bottle in your house, prescriptions, vitamins, sleep aids, and occasional pain relievers. Put them in a brown bag and make an appointment with your pharmacist or primary care doctor specifically for a medication review. Ask this specific question: do I still need to be on all of these, and are any of these unsafe for my age? Step 2. The deprescribing conversation. If you are on a stomach acid pill, PPI, or a preventative medication you started 15 years ago, ask your doctor, is there an exit strategy for this drug? Doctors are trained to prescribe. You need to empower them to help you deprescribe. Sometimes we stay on meds simply because nobody remembered to tell us to stop. Step 3. Hydrate, like your kidneys depend on it, because they do. Since our kidneys filter more slowly now, we need to help them out. Unless your doctor has you on a fluid restriction for heart failure, increasing your water intake is the simplest way to lower the concentration of drugs in your system and reduce toxicity. Getting older is a privilege, but it requires a new strategy. You are the CEO of your own health. Your doctor and pharmacist are just your consultants. You have the right to ask questions. You have the right to understand side effects, and you have the right to say no to medications that don't serve your best interests. If you found this breakdown helpful, please do 3 things for me. Click the subscribe button. I'm working on a new video about the 3 supplements that actually work for seniors, and I don't want you to miss it. Share this video. Send it to a friend or family member who might be taking these medications. You could save them from a nasty fall or a hospital visit. Comment below. Are you taking any of the meds we discussed? Have you noticed side effects? Let's learn from each other in the comments. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay healthy.